Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the show. I am your host with the most, Chris Talks. Hope that you are enjoying your day because I am definitely enjoying mine. So, welcome, everybody. All right, so let's get into this episode's top story, which is 3 new homeless shelters appear to be on the verge of opening. All right, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. 3 new shelters on the verge of opening. That sounds good. All right, so we're going to let Sarah AI report this story, and she's going to let you know when and where these shelters are open. All right, Sarah, do what you do. All right, hit it.
A trio of Staten Island homeless shelters are seemingly on the verge of opening. But it's unclear when they will officially start operation. Spokespersons for the City Department of Homeless Services (DHS), which is overseen by the Department of Social Services (DSS), did not respond to requests for comment about when they expect the 3 shelters to open. Visits to all 3 sites Friday showed they were close to completion after being announced years ago during former Mayor Bill de Blasio's administration. News of the shelter first broke in 2019 as part of de Blasio's Turning the Tide initiative that promised to bring 90 new shelters to the 5 boroughs. While Mayor Eric Adams has reversed course on other shelters announced by his predecessor, like 2 in Manhattan and another in the Bronx, he's offered no sign of a change of heart regarding the Staten Island shelters. Despite continued community pushback, Stapleton Shelter, perhaps receiving the most vocal opposition, is the site in Stapleton at 119 Tompkins Avenue, which is set to house 100 men within walking distance of PS 78 and IS 49. In addition, the Eagle Academy for the Young Men of Staten Island is housed in IS 49. Grassmere Shelter. DHS spokespersons have said they expected the Grassmere site, set to house 50 women and be operated by the Institute for Community Living, to open early next year. A visit to the site last week revealed workers putting finishing touches on the building that formerly housed doctors' offices. City officials have said repeatedly that all 3 of the shelters will be used to house the city's traditional homeless population, and not migrants. Since spring 2022, more than 170,000 people have made their ways to the 5 boroughs from around the globe, tens of thousands of whom remain in the city's care.
All right, listeners, first and foremost, clear that horn so I can drop my view and my opinion at this time. All right, so I'm gonna give my view and my opinion on this particular topic. So let's give it up to, what is it, the DSS. A round of applause to the DSS, and a round of applause to the DHS. And I'm going to give both of them a round of applause simply because they stepped up on the construction as far as these three shelters. Well, at least 2 of them. Yeah, at least 2 of them. First, before I get into it, let's say what's up to Silent Ed. Thank you for coming through. So let's get right back into it. Okay, so 3 shelters that are being built on Staten Island. Finally, we got some good news instead of bad news. But finally, we are reporting some good news. But there are 3 shelters being built on Staten Island. One of them is close to completion, which is on Victory Boulevard. If you ever been to Staten Island, that is about I think it's isn't it right off the ferry? Yeah, it's right off the ferry. So it's within the area of the ferry. And there are 2 more that's in construction. Now, the problem that I have, and this is where I'm going to give the DHS and the DSS, can we give them the dummy buzzer? Can we do that real quick? both of them. Now, at this, I'm going to give it on the dummy buzzer, and some people might be asking me why. And I will say this: there was a protest. I forgot when it happened in Staten Island, but there was a protest against the shelter, an all men's shelter, being placed next to a school. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think any shelter should be placed near any school at all. Maybe a church, yeah. But if the church is near a school, then no. But if the church is not near a school, then maybe yeah. But I'm pretty sure that Staten Island, the Staten Island borough president, I guess, yeah, the borough president or somebody that represents Staten Island, the state senate on the borough president could have found another place for the men's shelter than to be put by school. Now, for those who are being like, for all my listeners who are sitting there like, maybe that's okay. A men's shelter near a school, it's not too bad. But I'm going to ask you this. Why didn't they put the women's shelter near the school? Why didn't they do that? Me personally, I don't think any shelter, whether it be family, women's, or men's, should be near a school. And the reason why I do not think that should happen is because whether it be women's families, and a majority would be men's, and in this particular, where I'm going with this, is that there are sexual predators. So, whether there be a sexual predator that's a male or a female, when you put them near schools, you are jeopardizing the children. You understand what I'm saying? Ed, I'm being dead serious. When you put shelters near schools, you are jeopardizing the children.
Message.
And I can understand that why there was a protest against the Stapleton location, this particular location, because they are saying that it is within walking distance. Now, I went on and I checked out the map of the location. When I say it's close, it is very close. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very close. So all my listeners, it is very close. Too close for comfort to me. Maybe if it was like 4 or 5 blocks away, yeah, maybe. But it's less than a block. And for me, that's just too close. Too close. And the reason why I say that, as before, is because of sexual predators. Now, I don't know how many of my listeners know it, but there are at least over 1,500 kids that go missing just in New York City alone. We're not talking about countrywide or worldwide. We're just talking about New York City that go missing. And now you are putting these people right next to a school. That's very dangerous. That's very dangerous because whether it be local, and that's what they're saying, that they're going to take in local people, which is good. I'm not saying that's a bad thing that they're going to take in local people, but let's be serious. They will take in migrants, those migrants who are seeking asylum. They will take them in. And the reason why they're going to take them in is because the Biden administration has passed them has given them temporary asylum, so they can go into any shelter. They can go into they can rent any car. They can get a driver's license. They can do all these different things. They can even apply for a social security number, a temporary one, but a social security number, which shelters, New York City shelters, will recognize. I think I did a story a little while ago about, I think it was fighting and fighting in a tent shelter with migrants to where somebody who was stabbed and murdered. So I just want all my listeners to think about this. Like, really think about this. Like, really, really think. Even though these shelters are being built, and shout out to the former mayor, de Blasio, I think it was. Shout out to him. Let's give him a round of applause for going into this and getting the funding to build 90 shelters throughout New York City. Now, what I'm saying is that these migrants have this accessibility to get into these shelters. I hope they don't get into them, but they have, some of them, they have that accessibility. Now, to any of my listeners who are homeless, or in a bad situation, I suggest that you take down these addresses and stuff like that. Look up on this, and if you can, or even if you're not homeless, if you know somebody who's in a homeless situation that lives in New York City and is on Staten Island, I would recommend that you refer them to these places so that they can have some place to sleep at the end of the day. You know, I'm just saying to all my listeners, I would refer y'all to do that. To anybody that's listening in New York City, that's on Staten Island. But I will say this. I think it's a very good thing that this is happening. And finally, we get to report some good news about something good. That this is happening, that these shelters are opening, and that they are opening for New Yorkers, and that these shelters are not designated to migrants or anybody seeking migrants seeking asylum, but they are actually built and designated to the people of New York City. Because let's be honest, we have had a hard time as far as housing in New York City, as far as shelters for let's say New Yorkers, because New York, as well as other states, have been tending to these migrants or asylum seekers instead of the people that are in their own state. And it is because of this administration that these type of things that are happening and are allowed to happen. Because Biden is allowing all of this to happen. He's allowing all these people to just flood in with no problem. 1,500, 1,600, 5,000 people flooding through on a daily basis. Imagine how many people that is a month, ladies and gentlemen, just flooding into our country, just freely coming into our country. I mean, just take a second to think about that. Take a second.
Bruh.
All right, that's my view and that's my opinion on this particular topic. All right. All right, let's pay the bills as always. Y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe, that like. Also, feel free to leave a comment. As always, I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me. Also, stay blessed and not stressed. Until next episode, folks. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.